Welcome, everyone. It is Sunday, December 11th, a cold, snowy evening here in Western Massachusetts. I am Robin, the co-host, and this is the Morgellons Call of the Week. Our topic today has been how to disinfect your car, and we are about to start the Q&A on that topic.
Well, let me go into the FDA stuff again. I have to do this. The FDA requires me to inform everybody, since we may be getting into giving recommendations, that before you start the King diet or accept any of our recommendations, you thoroughly discuss them with your physician to make sure they do not interfere with any health problems you're presently experiencing. The AMA requires us to tell you that, being that we are not trained, licensed medical doctors, we are not here to diagnose, treat, cure, or mitigate any disease, and that we can educate you how to utilize the King diet, how to clean the organisms out of your skin and environment, which we talked about earlier about the automobile, and we can educate you as to what targeted supplements are available to build health and immune functioning.
Yes, you answered my question already about the leather seats in the car, so thank you. I'll get that cedar oil again. But I had a question about disinfecting your body. I know that you had sent out some protocols, and I did that in the beginning, and I'm down to the one debriding soap bath and an enzyme bath, and then I finished with the sulfur soap in the shower. And then when I put the oils on, I have things coming out of my skin, and I just wondered if, a significant amount, if that means I'm not doing something right on the diet, or if that's just
Well, what is the itching and the biting symptoms like? What are they like?
Mostly, occasionally I'll have some stinging, and it's random, and it's where an organism might be coming out.
Mm-hmm.
And then mostly wiggling, and it's mostly where my problem areas are, like ears, jaw, neck.
Well, the itching and the biting indicates that they're still active, and they're still perhaps being fed by something that you're eating, which you'd want to identify and get rid of. Once the itching and the biting are gone, then anything that comes out of your body, and you've got perhaps years of accumulation there, so it's going to take a while to get stuff out. I don't know if it's going to take only 3 or 4 weeks or 3 or 4 months. I don't know. It's different from everyone.
Trying to identify the organisms. I've read about your things about the springtails, and I've researched it. I don't know whether I think that that's what's bothering my face, or if it's still the nematodes, because I did the test for the Strongyloides. It was negative, but I do think the Fenbin has been helping. But I wonder if there's anything different I should do. I'm taking Temporam, Fenbin, and then all the supplements.
And you're also using lufenuron?
No, I was going to switch to that, the Chido enzyme.
The chitinase enzymes?
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Well, you're on the right path.
So, okay. And then I had a question for Robin about clothing and fibers, because she usually talks about opening boxes, stored items. Basically,
before you ask your question, I wanted to comment on what you did say so far, and I doubt that nematodes would be coming out of your face, but depending on your diet, if your diet is off, the Morgellons fibers can look like thick worms. Okay. So, and it's normal for stuff to come out of your skin with the oils after bathing, and that's a good thing. but it will get
Right.
worse if you've made mistakes on the diet.
Yeah, I'm trying to watch that. I just tried to move into stage 2 with like the apples and bananas and walnuts.
Well, lemons you can have on stage 1. Lemons are fine on stage 1. Walnuts and apples stage 2. But here's the thing: if you're going to add foods, you want to do it really slowly. Add a half an apple and wait a week so you can see if you're having a reaction. Add a quarter cup of walnuts after you know you can eat the apple, and then wait another week. Go slow. Go really slow, because otherwise you're not going to know what's going on.
And an indication that it's not good is like new spots or lesions, probably.
Well, it's more stuff coming out of your skin for sure. The lesions and spots, I have found that they're more related to environment than diet. Because if I hit a spot that's infested in my house, I'll get bit and I'll get lesions, but otherwise I won't. You know what I mean?
I've only had like little pimply-looking bites and not many, so that could be an environment. I'm still working on my.
There's a thing in Richard's book about these little red dots that you can get, and that is from internal rather than external. I forget what they're called. So, yeah, I see a few of those now and then, but I just was wondering what is coming out of my skin and if I am treating it the right way. Well, I mean, I doubt that you have worms in your face, and I would highly recommend the lufenuron and the nitin-pyram because they'll hit Morgellons, mites, and springtails. So it doesn't. And if you're doing the protocols in the book and you're doing the diet right, it's what you have isn't as important as what you're doing because it's going to work for all of it.
Okay. Yeah, I was going to try to replace the lufenuron. I just had so much swelling and die-off. I couldn't seem to control it.
So if you take lufenuron and it's too intense, instead of taking, well, first of all, you have to take it with 10 grams of fat in a meal.
Oh, yeah, I would
add
a butter.
If it's too much, then try doing it once every 3 days instead of every day. Or once a week until things start to slow down.
The Wellbutrin, I'm waiting to see how that affects everything.
I don't know anything about Wellbutrin.
What are you doing to deal with the die-off, Laura?
Oh, I am still doing the Argo digestive enzymes with the amino acid and
great.
All right,
so you're doing correct. You deal with the die-off by taking the Agro Relief enzymes and the complete amino acid formula. That's how to deal with it. Okay, anything else?
Well, as far as the fibers on the clothes, like I'm taking out older clothes and I'm trying to treat it with the ammonia in the bucket or the clothes container, and then of course in the washer and the dryer. But I'm still noticing the fibers, and I'm trying to lint roll them off. But some of these
first of all, I mean, what are you putting in the washer and the dryer, and how long are you drying it for, and what temperature are you using?
Well, I just use the hottest cycle at least for an hour, sometimes longer. Electric bill's a little high.
In the dryer, I would recommend an hour and a half to 2 hours, and I would use either a sock or dryer sheets. Dryer sheets actually repel parasites, even though they have chemicals. And
dryer sheets.
Soak one in ammonia and one in peppermint oil.
Oh, okay. I didn't use the peppermint oil yet.
Yeah, that.
And
in the wash.
Yeah.
In the wash, after you soak the things in ammonia, you want to. What I recommend is a cup of borax in with the clothes, and then using Richard's laundry soap is the best. I mean, it's just amazing, and that would be my first go-to thing to use. And if that doesn't work, you can text me, and I have like 3 other things you can add to that. But the laundry soap by itself is incredible. And if you're seeing things in the dryer, then do multiple washes. Right back in the washing machine.
It's with my black light that I'm seeing like the glowing orange and the green, and then I lint roll off.
Well, we don't know whether they are alive or whether they're dead.
Okay.
You're just seeing them. So they may be in the filaments of your in your clothing. It may be a while before you actually get rid of them in the washing cycle or blow them out in the dryer.
And the other thing is after they're dry, you want to put them in a Ziploc freezer bag with menthol crystals or Nuvon strips, and just leave them there for like a month at least.
Yeah, well, the point is, after you take them out of the dryer and if you wear them, do you feel activity? If you don't feel activity, then whatever's in the clothing is dead.
Okay, I didn't realize that you could kill them that way. That you had to get them off. Period. So.
Well, if you put on an infected garment, within minutes you're going to feel activity. So. Okay. If you're not feeling activity, then it doesn't matter what the heck, what the white light, the black light shows. It's dead. It's gone. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Who's next?
Have a Merry.
You too.
Yes, thank you.
Hi. This is the first time on this call. I was on the internet searching and I found you.
Welcome.
I'm at work. Thank you. I'm at work. I'm not even supposed to be on the phone. But I took a number where they said after the call I could text. And I have a question. Is there a book? All this information that you're giving, I find them very useful. Is there a book or something that I could get some of these information, because I want to get off the phone now?
The very first email you got, go back and find it. It's got links in it to the free book and the free diet and all of our information. So, and if you can't find it, just return any email that you have from me back to me, and I'll get you the information.
All right, thank you.
The book is free, the diet is free, all of our resources are free.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Keep coming back. We're here to support you in getting your life back. Thank you.
And you have this call every Sunday? Same time?
Every Sunday we have this call. We don't know what we're going to do yet for Christmas and New Year's Day because they're both on Sunday.
I just have a question about strongyloids. As far as, does the lufenuron work on strongyloids?
No, lufenuron is fungal based. It deals with fungal organisms. Fenben. If you complete the questionnaire, have you completed the questionnaire?
Yes.
Then you should have gotten a detailed recommendations from me. Now,
I did, but things, I have different symptoms. That was like a few years ago, or a couple of years ago, or 3 years ago. Yeah.
Well, there are basically 7 symptoms of strongyloides, and they are also listed in the book. But rashes around your ankles and around your waist area, I think, is one of them. Alternating diarrhea and constipation, coughing, hives around the anus, and weight loss, and there's one other one, I believe. So if you don't have many of those symptoms, it's unlikely that you have it. But again, I don't diagnose. I just say you have
right.
3 of 7 symptoms. You might want to have it checked because strongyloides can be dormant for years. In fact, all of these things, intestinal parasites and all these cofactors, even Lyme disease, can be dormant for years. And along comes Morgellons, and all of a sudden they become big actors, right. And the real problem.
Right.
So,
that's what happened with me. I lived in Martha's Vineyard, and I'd get bit every season because I lived on a 100-acre farm. And I was told, as long as it's not in you for more than 24 hours, you're okay, the tick. Well, how do I know how long that tick was on me, But
Yeah.
so anyways, I had Lyme disease for 30 years and didn't even know it. You know, it was pretty dormant, but I had the symptoms when I got really full-blown with Morgellons. I started reading up on Lyme disease and everything, and I had, you know, the symptoms. And I just learned how to deal with the fatigue by working out, and the stiff neck, by, you know, just all the different things. And I didn't even know I had it, but it went like full-blown. It was horrible. And
it is horrible. It almost killed me about 10 years ago. So I'm just grateful to be here alive today because you know, and
right.
if you want to learn more about Lyme disease and how you can beat it if you're still dealing with it, I have a book. It's available. It's free also. It's called Lyme Disease Doesn't Have to Own You Anymore. Lyme disease doesn't have to own you anymore. If you go to one of our other websites, it's called Best, like Best Man in a Wedding, Best MorgellonsCure.com. At the top, you'll see links and reports. You click on that, and you can read it for free.
Okay, well, that sounds great. Thank you.
Or you can email me, and I'll be glad to send it to you as an attachment. Okay. Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Who's next?
The first one says, I'm reaching out today because I can't seem to find a doctor who has experience treating Morgellons disease and parasitic infections. I was wondering if you could recommend anyone in the state of California, or if you had any information that would at least point me in the right direction. I look forward to hearing from you. Thank you for your time and have a terrific rest of your day. Sean.
What's the answer to that, Robin? Read my book.
Right. Well, also, don't forget, in the book, you have a section where you list some Lyme literate doctors that do work with Morgellons, and a lot of them work remotely through Zoom or whatever. So if someone really is set on going that route, they can look up the doctors in your book.
Dr. Cornish, Dr. Saverly, Dr. Bransfield, who else? There's maybe one or two more that's part of the group. They treat Morgellons as Lyme disease. And because Lyme disease, as the lady just before shared that she had it and it was dormant for many years, often when you get Morgellons, Lyme disease becomes predominant. And these doctors generally treat primarily with antibiotics. And if you look at my blog, going back about a year and a half, you can see that long-term treatment with antibiotics can be disastrous. I'm not saying don't do it. Go ahead, make an appointment. But as far as finding a particular doctor in what state was that?
California.
I don't think so. Or Michigan, or New Hampshire. You know, there are no such things as a resource with a list of doctors that treat Morgellons. You're lucky, you're damn lucky, to even have a doctor say, I think you have Morgellons. Now, what's he going to do about it? He doesn't know. He's going to say, hey, eat well, you know, eat a healthy diet. Okay, big deal. Now, let me just mention, and I did do it before, for those of you who may be new or are new, this program is based on the King Diet. If you have not started it, and if you're not going to do it, or don't want to do a diet, go elsewhere. Morgellons, it's not easy. I'm not here to make it sound like it's something easy, but we know the diet works. And when you make the diet work, Robin mentioned earlier, I don't know how many people have gotten their lives back with the program, whether it's dozens or hundreds or maybe even 1,000. I'm not making any claims, but most every Sunday you can tune in and you'll hear somebody share their experience and how they got their lives back or are making significant progress. So without the diet, I don't know how to help you. Don't expect any of my products to help you without the diet, okay? I'm not here to sell products. I'm here to provide information, and If you find the information credible, useful, then I ask you to support our store. Next question.
Okay, next question says, thank you for all the links and connections you've made for us. I've been taking lufenuron from the Shop for Morgellons site for about a month. It seemed to help at first, but now I have a terrible bladder infection that has lasted for 4 days. I stopped taking it, and I'm wondering if that is the problem or something else. Could this be a situation where it gets worse before it gets better? I have contacted the site where I bought it, but I have not heard back. I can't get into the urologist till March 2023, so please let me know if you have any suggestions. And yes, I understand it is just advice, not a diagnosis. Thanks for all you do, Diane.
I think that, Robin wants to tackle this one.
Yeah, well, it has nothing to do, you know, Morgellons is not the cause of everything. If you have a bladder infection, you have a bladder infection. It's not caused by lufenuron. It's not caused by anything else. And if you have a doctor that can't see you till March, then you need to find another doctor. And I know that, you know, I mean, for urinary tract infections, people drink cranberry juice, but we can't do that with Morgellons. So
unfortunately, yeah.
You know, there are medicines that will help, but yeah, you need to see a doctor. And I get texts all the time from people who have cold symptoms or who have the flu or who have an upset tummy. And, you know, Morgellons doesn't cause everything. We live in a world and we're human and things happen. So, yeah, don't stop the lufenuron. It doesn't conflict with anything. But see a doctor.
Right. And I agree 100% with Robin that Morgellons, in all of my years, I've never heard of anyone having a problem with urinary tract infections because of Morgellons. Urinary tract infections are not a cofactor when it comes to Morgellons. They are not dormant, and then suddenly Morgellons comes along and they become a big problem. That is not true of urinary tract infections or many problems. There are about maybe 22 different cofactors that I've identified and have listed in one of the updates that I published about 6 months ago. I mentioned a few of the more popular ones today. The cofactors that often lie dormant and become a problem when Morgellons comes to the surface are Lyme disease, Strongyloides therocalis, fungal infections, Candida albicans, that kind of fungal infection, and nematodes, usually intestinal parasites type of things. They become a big deal. And there are others. We even get into EMF sensitivities become a problem, more so when you're dealing with Morgellons. So, but not urinary tract infections. Okay, you got another question there?
Yes. It says, hi, Richard, I have a question for you. Does the electrostatic sprayer with the product they demonstrate kill the mites? I used the triple pesticide at first, and it worked well a couple of years ago, but this time it does not seem to be working very well. The electrostatic sprayer seems to be safer for your health. Thank you, Kathy.
The electrostatic sprayer is basically a sprayer that puts an electronic charge on the particles. So you could spray with a regular inexpensive dollar can, 32-ounce sprayer, anything that you want. But say, for instance, you spray the front of a doorknob, you spray towards the doorknob. That spray, or even if you use an expensive fogger, is only going to cover the front of the doorknob. The benefit of the electrostatic sprayer is that it puts a charge on the spray particles, so that when it goes to the doorknob, the spray that goes to the side of the doorknob are going to actually be attracted to the back of the doorknob and cover it. Now, what you put in the electrostatic sprayer is important. There are things that you cannot use. You cannot use corrosive things like ammonia. You can't use oils like Four Thieves oil or peppermint oils or any of the oils. They wear out the gaskets. And what can be used are the enzymes. Now, if we're dealing specifically with mites, we did a program a few weeks ago where Chris had shared, and there's a YouTube video about it, but clean 'em up zymes or enzymes can be effective with mites, but only the types of mites, and most mites are this way, they're pheromone driven. The mites that are pheromone driven, that means they have no eyeballs. They have no eyes. So those mites then are affected by the enzymes and destroyed. Now, if there are mites with eyes, well, then the clean 'em up zymes or any enzyme is not going to work, and you're going to need to use something like the Mediclean disinfectant. So we have a disinfectant in the store. It's called Mediclean. It's a chemical disinfectant. We also have Benefect, which is based on thyme, Thyme. It's organic. But I'm not sure if it will destroy mites. That's an unknown. I won't make any claims on that. If anybody is on the call that has had experience with it and found that it does destroy mites, please give Chris a jangle there and share your experience. Okay. Yes, Robin.
So it's true that, pesticides are toxic and not as good for your health, but when you're dealing with mites, you need to switch things up. They build resistance to different things, and non-toxic things won't always kill them. So, I don't recommend just going the non-toxic route. Richard has wonderful products, but sometimes you have to mix it up with actual pesticide, and if you're going to do that and go that route, then you need to protect yourself, wear a mask, wear goggles, wear nitrile gloves. The thing that's safe for you is often safe for them as well.
Okay. So the point is, if the mites are pheromone driven, the enzymes will always, the organisms cannot adapt to enzymes. But if the mites happen to be, there are 40,000 different species, and I think the most of the ones that we deal with are pheromone driven. But if they have a type of mite that has an eye, well, then the enzymes are not going to work. You're going to need to use, Robin uses flea bombs and mixes it up, and you can use pesticides on them. And again, pesticides do not actually work with Morgellons. We're just talking about dealing with mites.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, I just had a quick question, and I think it is in the book, but I'm being lazy and just asking. So I want to start dyeing my hair now that it's growing again. Praise God. It's growing, it's not falling out. The lesions in my head, in my scalp are gone. And yeah, that's a victory, because that was something I really, really struggled with.
So Sarah, it sounds like you've been making progress. Tell us, share with us your progress.
Oh, yes. Yeah, I shared a little bit last week. Back in October, I just changed my attitude to an attitude of gratitude, and I changed my focus. I'm a Christian. I really just started to praise God and to worship God, and to really stop participating in the, excuse my French, bullshit. I'm also dealing with, when this all happened to me, when I went to the doctor, they sectioned me, and my husband used that to try to take my daughter away from me. When I stopped fighting with him and just started praising God and just changed my attitude and accepted this diet as a gift instead of a punishment, I was able to really get it to kick in. I was able to stop eating the gum. I was able to stop drinking the energy drinks. All those little things that I was like, oh, well, you know, I'm doing a little bit better, and would just, you know, it kicked me right back. I was able to get it to kick in, and since then, everything has changed, literally everything. You know, even to the fact that my husband wants to settle outside of court and give me the same custody that I had before this all happened back. You know, it's just been really, really amazing. You guys are literally lifesavers. I remember reading in the book, or I can't remember if it was just hearing from Robin or something, that when she also shares my faith, and it was a God-given gift. And for me, that's my story. And being able to accept that and embrace it, and accept Morgellons as not so much of a punishment, but as a gift to be able to look at life differently. You know, everybody's probably dealing with it. These things are everywhere. Now I just know how to face them. Now I know how to deal with it. And you know, I do just want to share a little bit. I worked with Dr. Cornish. At that time in October, I said, you know what, I'm no longer taking any antibiotics. I got off the antibiotics, and I just did the diet and the methods in the program, and things really started to change. So, you know, and that's kind of just a little thing I just kind of want to laugh about, because, you know, I mean, I spent thousands of dollars on that, thousands of dollars.
That's with Dr. Cornish and the antibiotic route?
Yeah. Thousand. I mean, it was, you know, I mean, the first appointment, $500. Every appointment after that, $250. The tests, everything that they, you know, and it's just, one thing I did want to add, in the testing, I found that I have a condition called cytomegalovirus, which is a common cofactor with Morgellons. The virus, it's kind of like a herpes type thing, but it's not. Attacks your lungs. It's something to get checked for if you are dealing with this and you have any respiratory issues, because it is very common in Morgellons. And dealing with that, which did need to have an antiviral medication, really did help with the other kingpins, you know, like, because that was one that was really keeping me sick, because it was causing like a mucus, like, and making it really hard to break down the biofilm that I had, you know, because if you have a whole mucus issue in your whole respiratory system, it's hard to break all that down.
Right.
So once I was able to kind of take care of that too, that helped. So I did. That was the summer, and it was like after that happened, I got kind of cocky. And I thought, oh, okay, I got this. And it was like, that was when I started, I would like just get a little bit of progress, and then 2 steps forward, 3 steps back. And it was in October when I was like, enough is enough. Since then, my hair is like growing in full swing. Things are good. You know, it's just, things are just so good. I really appreciate you guys. You know, a message that I can send to anybody that's listening to this call, if you're new, or if you've been here for a while and you just haven't gone full in, just do it. Like, at least, you know, he says just give it 10 days. That's what I did. I was like, oh, you know what, 10 days. What is 10 days? I've been suffering with this for a year. And before that, but for a year of, like, active hell, you know? And, like, what is 10 days of my life of not giving into, you know, the temptations? I'm stronger than that. I'm an alcoholic. I haven't had a drink in 3 years. If I can do that, then I can, like, not eat sugar for 10 days, not, you know, not have a Tic Tac, not do the little things that are going to set me back. And once I changed my mindset, had an attitude of gratitude, and fully committed, things just magically got better. And, you know, I'm following the plan. I'm on phase 2, and I'm kind of staying there, and I'm comfortable in it, and I'm not really a big eater anyways. So really, I'm just grateful, and just, you know, all the things that we do in the third part of this call are really important. Keeping your stress levels down is really the most important thing that you have to do, because without that, you're not going to be able to get the diet to kick in. If you're all stressed out, then you're going to want to eat the sugar, right? Like, it's a natural thing, you know? So it's like, we have to be able to tackle that. I think that that's really the secret kingpin that we don't even, like, you know, that's the one. If we can't get that down, then it makes it so much harder. So tackle that one and figure out the rest from there, and just be grateful that instead of being negative about having this awful disease, just be grateful that there's a solution to it and you don't have to live with it forever, and all you have to do is just make a couple changes that are good for your long-term health and will help keep you from getting the cancer and everything else that does come with having a disease that is like this. If you look into the research and really do it.
May I ask you, have you ever used our Garcillin product or our L-lysine?
I didn't use that. I've used a lot of the products. I really like the parasite. So I started taking that again just because we talked about it last week. That just helped even more. And no, I've never tried Garcillin. I did the nitro, you know, the one that no one can pronounce except for Robin. The one that begins with an N.
You know, these viruses, they probably never ever go away, like Epstein-Barr virus and so forth.
Yeah.
They're there all the time. The viruses that you get, the cankersaurs, they're always in your body. And this is my opinion, you know, is to use the Garcillin and L-lysine. That combination is the best there is. You know, again, I'm not a medical doctor. I'm not prescribing this, but it is a way of boosting health and immune functioning, which I'm allowed to do. And the Garcillin is phenomenal. And the L-lysine.
Yeah, that's a great recommendation.
I mean, that even takes care of situations where I've had people, what is that, sexual, it's another form of herpes. And this is the best approach that you can go in dealing. So the idea is to build health and immune functioning, and by doing the Garcillin and the L-lysine, of course, I would also go up and add in the glutathione and make sure we're doing the multiple vitamin and the minerals. But by building, oftentimes treatment is unnecessary when you build health and immune functioning. It's just knowing what to do.
The first thing that she put me on was, I'll have to look back and see what it was, but it was basically just something to make me poop. Reactive magnesium from Nature's Pride. So that was the first thing that she put me on. That was step one, and I don't know if you recommend that or if that's in the store. I mean, but like, you know, I paid $500 to get that recommendation. You know, literally, like, and everything else that she told me, I already knew because I did the research.
We have many pooping solutions. There's a blog post about them. There's even diatomaceous earth, and there are a lot of inexpensive pooping solutions. And I'm not sure about what she gave you, whether it would be compatible with the diet or not. Well, Sarah, I want to thank you for sharing your experience. I'm really happy to have participated in some small part in your life, and wish you the best.
More than small.
I love your energy, and if you'd like to do some telephone work for us, I would love to talk to you about that.
Oh, sure, absolutely. But wait, before we get off I do have a question.
Yes, about your hair.
So we didn't get to. Yes, about my hair. So can I dye my hair now?
Yes, absolutely. Yes. Go for it.
Bleach, because I kind of just want to do now that it's like.
Just know that hair dye can make your hair fall out also. But you can
that's fine. I got plenty of hair. Here's the good part is that I was completely bald and now I have plenty of hair. So it comes back. It comes back. Everything comes back. You just got to do the program.
That's right.
Yep. All right, guys. Well, I will share the time. Thank you so much. And I will, Richard, I'm still working on an email for you. I've just had a really busy week with Christmas, but I'll be in contact.
Sure. Yes, be in contact with me. And anyone out there who is good on the phone and likes sharing your experience and, helping others, please call me, because we do have telephone opportunities for you to reach out to other people who may be uncertain about whether they want to do it, who don't want to bite the bullet, Sarah bit the bullet. You know, that's what it's called. You know, you look at it and you look at it and but I don't know. How I'm going to do it? 10 days of my life. I had a year of misery, 2 years of misery. What's 10 days? It's worth it. So thank you for.
It was the best 10 days of my life. You know, and it's funny too, because like I said, I'm a Christian. Like I've fasted, you know, like I've fasted more than that for like 21 days, you know, like I've like just drank water and juice for that like 21 days. And I was so hesitant about going all in. Like I wanted to try it every other way. I don't know why. Like I don't, you know, it's like I wanted to have a medical condition that it needed to like have medical treatment or something. And the fact is that really I just needed to do what was in the book and I promise you guys, I am not a paid person, and I am just a person from Massachusetts that stumbled upon this program and saw Robin and was like, oh, she's from Massachusetts too. Perfect. This means that this is like a real thing and I'm not crazy. And that was, I don't know, back in probably May, and took me till October. But, you know, I kept coming on the calls, I kept listening, and finally the breakthrough happened. Finally, I bit that bullet, and my daughter, who is 3 years old, like, now I can hug her again. You know, now I can like be more active. Wonderful. I'm not always picking things out of my skin. You know, it's just it's amazing.
Great.
It really is. Thank you guys so much.
You're most welcome, and thank you for sharing. Thank you. I often wondered, because I remember months and months ago you were telling us about you seeing Dr. Cornish, and it was like, well, which way is she going to go? Is she going to do the diet? Is she going to go the medical route, which is going to work? I don't know, but I was learning from you as you would share what Dr. Cornish was doing and her approach. I was learning. Hey, I didn't know if you were getting anything out of it, but I was learning.
It's good to have some you know, boots in that field too. I mean, anybody that goes and sees different doctors, there is a doctor, Lindsay Day, I believe her name is, and she's like a homeopathic doctor that I was interested in reaching out to, because she does do some pro bono stuff, and like she does a lot of stuff with herbs, and I was kind of interested in seeing if like she's heard of your program too. So like even being able to kind of introduce your program into these different doctors' offices, because I did tell Dr. Cornish about you know, the soap and everything else, and she's like, that's great, and you know, I don't know how much she.
That's great.
You know,
$500, please. That's great. $500, please.
Yeah, exactly.
But even people, alternative medicine people, you know, they'll prescribe things that are normally great for parasites or infections, like black walnut.
Yep.
And it doesn't work with the diet.
No.
Oh no. Yeah. And that's the important thing too, is if you're going to go to these doctors, just like knowing, you know, what the diet is and knowing what, because the you know, if I would, because that's what, like, now that I know and I've gotten it to work and stuff, and like being able to just share, you know, what doesn't work could be helpful to them too, you know. So that's kind of where I'm at. I'm just giving back, being able to help people, you know, because my life is saved. The suicide rate of Morgellons is 800 times more, according to the Charles Holman, you know, and my mother committed suicide, non-related. And so the odds were stacked against me, and God brought me through it. You guys were sent to help me, and I'm here to help anybody else that needs help. So thanks so much, Richard.
Thank you.
I'm going to share a time.
Happy holidays. Yep. And yes, and also, in addition to telephone work, I'm also looking for coaches, people who know how to make the diet work and are getting progress to help others who are new to the program. Now, Sarah shared that the cost of going to the doctor. Now, I'm not competing with the doctors, okay? I'm not competing with them. And everybody's got their beliefs about where they should go. But the cost of my program, the book is free, the diet is free, the These calls are free. We have programs on YouTube for dealing with depression, helping you sleep, affirmations. All of this is free. You didn't have to spend a dime. And you can get your life back. It works. The program works. All I ask in return is that when you go to buy something, rather than go to Walmart or go to Amazon, get it from our store. And everything in the store is compatible with either stage 1 or stage 2 of the diet, and it specifies that. So that's just my little commercial, patting myself on the back. Okay. Any other questions, Mary?
Do you recommend a shampoo to use with Nature's Gift, and what is the mix ratio, please? Is it okay to use with Dawn detergent or Dr. Bronner's or Nizoral? Thanks.
Well, there again, rather than go to Dr. Bronner's or to Dawn detergent, go to our store. Our products are already mixed with Nature's Gift. Everything in the store, the skin lotions, the skin creams, the shampoos, they already have Nature's Gift in them. You can mix them. I mean, if you've got some shampoo laying around and you don't want to throw it away, yeah, you can put in a couple of tablespoons of Nature's Gift and shake it up and use it to get rid of it. But we already have superior, fantastic products that already have it in the store. So, and we have bar soaps. We've got unscented bar soap. We've got mineral bar soap with lavender, and what is it? Sulfur bar soap. And we'll probably be adding other bar soaps as we go along. Okay, one more question, I think.
Yes, this is the last one, and it says, can you see springtails with naked eye on a finger, or are the white organisms that wiggle on my face and ears nematodes? Thanks, Laura.
Yes, Laura was on earlier and asked a question. I was wondering if she was going to ask this question too. But the first experience I ever had with springtails was shortly after I was infested and driven crazy with them. I was in bed and I looked at my fingertip and I saw this little thing standing up on my finger, wiggling itself. It was a springtail. I didn't know what it was at the time. I thought it was amazing. I couldn't capture it before I knew it. It was gone because it's so tiny. But yes, springtails, they'll stand up on your finger and they'll wiggle. And they're the size of a piece of dust. They look like a piece of dust wiggling on your finger or your face or wherever they might be, if you can see them. They blend right in, which means that they're very difficult to see. Unless they're standing up like this one was, I never would have seen it. It would have just been lying down on my skin, and I never would have seen it. In fact, the point that they made with a microscopy that the National Padulosis Society made in 2002, they said it took experienced microbiologists doing microscopy to actually identify and see these organisms in human skin. They're just not easily to see.